Hey there, it's John with Excel Campus, and in this video I'm going to share 10 advanced charts for Excel. So it's going to be a bit of a compilation of all the crazy solutions I've created over the years. But as you're watching this, if you have questions about a specific chart type that you want to see created, or maybe you have some data and you're just not sure how to visualize it properly, leave a comment right below this video with that information. We're going to be creating more tutorials and videos on charts in the future. So in this video, I'm going to give an overview of these 10 different charts. I'm not going to explain how to create them in detail. We have separate blog posts and videos on each of those, and I'll put a link to that in the description below this video. But I am going to explain how each chart works and the story it tells, and what type of data to use with these, and when to use them. Oh, and at the end of the video, I'm going to explain a technique to help make dashboards like this easier to read if you have a lot of charts on them. So hang around for that solution as well. So the first chart we'll look at is this column chart with percentage change. Now this is great to use with any kind of time series data. In this case, we're looking at a trend over years. And as you can see here, the thing that's special about this chart is it displays the variance or percentage change between each of the bars. And it does this with this conditionally formatted arrow along with the value right here, the data label in the value of the percentage change. We've also hooked this up to a pivot table in the background so we can add a slicer here and then slice or filter the chart for a specific region in this case. And as you see, everything else here dynamically changes so we can see these variances between the bars. We also have a dynamic title up here that shows the selected region here in the title. Next, we have the conditional donut chart or progress chart. And you can use this type of chart whenever you're displaying a percentage towards a goal or a target. Now, the cool part about this specific chart is that as the percentage changes, so does the color of the bar. So as we get up to 80% here, you can see this turns a blue color. That's based on these levels we've set over here. And again, as the value continues to climb, the color will change. So this is great if you want to set different colors for different milestones of achievement towards your goal. Next, we'll take a look at the interactive histogram that shows the details. So with this chart here, this is great to use when you have any kind of categorical data. In this case here, we have a list of employees and their phone bill for the month, the amount of their phone bill, and we're grouping that by the amount. So we can see the count of the number of employees within each of these ranges of the phone bill. Now, what makes this specific chart special is that I've added a slicer down here that allows you to click the slicer under the bar to see a list of these employees, and this is in a pivot table, so the list of employees that have a bill between $300 and $399. So this is great because you'll know in a meeting the boss is always going to want to know who the worst offenders are here, and you can just quickly click that to see the list of the people with a really high phone bill. Next, we'll take a look at the dynamic histogram or frequency distribution chart. Now this is just a regular histogram chart here where we're showing the count of the number of people in each age group that volunteered for an event. But what makes this unique is we have a scroll bar down here at the bottom that allows you to change the number of bins or groups. So as we click this here, we can click the scroll bar to show more groups, or we can click this side of it to show less groups. And this changes the story that the chart is telling. So the story it's telling now is that obviously we have a lot of people here in the lower age groups or the younger age groups here, and that kind of tails off as we get to the older age groups. If we were to change this all the way down to just 2 groups or bins, now the story it tells is that 64% of people, or over half of the people that volunteered, are under the age of 45. So this allows the user to interact with the chart and find different stories within it. I just want to take a quick time out to say that if you're enjoying this video, hit the subscribe button below to subscribe to our channel, and I'll also put a link in the description below where you can sign up for our free weekly email newsletter that's packed with tips and techniques to help you master Excel. Next up, we have the annual trend with monthly details. And this can be used with any time series data, but this chart is great to use when you want to show a trend and then a trend within that, and compare it to some averages. So in this case here, we have on this top chart a column chart that shows the trend of snowfall history for a ski resort in California called Mammoth Mountain. It's my favorite place to go in the winter. And up here you can see we have the snowfall history from 1970 all the way to 2015. Down below that in this chart, we have the monthly trend based on the selected year. So we've currently selected 2006 with the slicer over here, and we can see the monthly trend in snowfall in inches for that year. This also compares that to the average snowfall for the entire series, the entire data set there over all of those years. And of course, with this chart, it's interactive, so you can quickly click another year here in the slicer, and then you will see that monthly trend here at the bottom that compares to the average, and it will also be highlighted up here in the annual trend. Next up, we'll look at the interactive waterfall chart. So at the bottom here, we have a waterfall chart, and waterfall charts are great to use when you have any type of time series data for something like inventory or maybe CRM data like a sales pipeline. In this case here, it shows the difference in what happened between the starting and ending inventory for the month. So in the month, we started out with 100 units here and ended with 35, and these different categories show what happened to create that change. Now, what makes this chart unique is that we can see multiple waterfalls for different items within one chart. So up here at the top, we have those starting and ending inventories for different items here. And there's a slicer here where we can actually click on this item and then display the waterfall chart for that item below. So we can click oranges here and we can quickly see what happened between the starting inventory of 200 and the ending inventory of 170. So it allows you to take a lot of charts and condense them into just one chart and make it interactive. Next up, we'll look at the variance on clustered charts. So this is great to use when you have any kind of categorical data and you want to see the variance between the two categories. In this case here, we have budget and actual data, and we want to see the variance between those two bars. And we are showing this for the different regions. Now, typically with a standard column chart, this is all you get here. And the question always comes up is, what is the variance? So this chart here allows you to display that variance on the chart, and it's also conditionally formatted. So if it's a positive variance, you can show that in green. If it's a negative variance, you can show that in red or orange. We also have an option here for a bar chart instead of the column chart. Next up, we'll look at the actuals versus multiple targets chart. So this is great for categorical data when you want to compare a number to multiple targets or multiple numbers. In this case here, we have actuals data and we're comparing it to both a budget and a forecast number. And you can see that in the chart here where we have these lines for the budget and the forecast, and then we have the actual number as the gray bar. You can do this in both a column or a bar chart. And there's also different layouts. We have a layout here where we can show the percentage of goals, so the percentage attainment instead of the numbers there. Next up, we have this stacked bar chart with dynamic data labels. And this is great to use with both categorical and time series data, and when you want to change the values that are displayed in the data labels. So here we have a stacked bar chart. Now, I'm not a big fan of stacked bar charts because they're pretty hard to read. However, this will help make them a bit easier. The reason they're hard to read is because each of these bars has an uneven baseline, except for the bottom bar. So it's very hard to see what the difference in sizes are between these bars. It's hard to tell if this green bar here is bigger or smaller than this green bar over here. So what we have is a slicer up here that allows us to change what's displayed in the data label. We can click this and then see the percentage of total. We can also click this button here to then see the percentage change, in this case month over month. So now we can see that this bar here is actually 8.9% bigger than this green bar right here. So it just helps the user see and read this chart a little better if you're going to use a stacked bar chart. I do have an additional blog post that explains why I don't like stacked bar charts in more detail, and some alternatives including a panel chart. I'll put a link to that in the description below this video. And finally, we'll take a look at the comparative distribution chart. This is great to use with categorical data when you want to compare one segment to all of the other segments or categories. In this example here, we're looking at average prices for different customer segments and comparing those to segment 1. So we can see we have segment 1 in blue here with the blue dot and the average price for segment 1. And then we're also displaying a scatter of all the other segments for this specific product, for each product here. And we can see how segment 1 did against all of the other products. So this can be a great alternative to quartile plots or even multiple histograms because it can be easier for the user to read. I have an article that explains more about those other options and alternatives, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. And at the beginning of the video, I mentioned I was going to share a way to make your dashboards easier to read if you have a lot of small charts on one sheet. And that's using this Zoom on Charts macro that I created. Here you can just add this button to the top left corner of any chart, and when you click on it, that's going to increase the size of the chart to make it easier to read. And that plus button turns into a minus, so you can then click it again to zoom the chart back to its original size. So again, this allows you to have a dashboard with a lot of charts on it, a lot of smaller charts, and allow the user to interact with those charts and make them easier to read and focus on. So that's 10 advanced Excel charts. I hope this has helped you see how you can use some of these charts in your projects to tell stories about your data. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below where you can download this file that I've used today, along with links to all of the other posts and resources where you can learn how to implement these charts in your own projects. And again, if you have any questions for a chart or you'd like to see created and a tutorial on that, leave a comment below as well, as we're going to be creating more tutorials in the future on charts. Thanks again for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.